I don't know how I'm gonna do this.
What?
All right. It's Halloween, guys.
You got a day still.
Well, I mean, kind of.
Cool fucking invite, man.
I know. Well, I'm about to go get my jersey.
I don't have one.
I did love your costume. Like, I was talking about it at work today, and everyone thought it was amazing.
Wait, which one? Who are you talking to?
You,
Oh, okay.
just your hand.
Yeah, Luke's hand.
I thought it was amazing. But yeah. So what's going on, guys? Tom, Barney, and Joe from the JagrBombs. We were talking about our upcoming. I don't want to call it free agency because it's not really free agency. We're just waiting to get our rosters at this point.
Our upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
it
consider
starts
myself a free agent.
Yeah, we're not getting paid for this. We're paying for it.
I mean, I'm a free agent, but not when it comes to the ice.
Shameless. I'm single plug.
I'm signed through this season still.
Yeah. Contract year for him.
What?
It's a contract year for Varney.
You better play well then.
Yeah.
I need
If not, we're gonna be smart and not sign him.
I need to get some goals.
We should just put a bunch of money down on Spence. Last year was a contract year for him. Did you do all right in the summer?
Josh is no one did great in the summer.
Well, yeah. I think we were talking about that earlier this afternoon.
Josh did not look great. Spencer couldn't hit the net. I think he took over your. I think he took over your position.
Someone had to fill the role.
So, but yeah. So I mean, Josh couldn't stay on his skates. We struggled defensively because I was the only defense from the winter team. We had more own goals than goals for probably from our defensemen. Like we had one where he had the stick straight up flagpole, deflected it down in between Alex's legs, and that was a goal. So,
well, Alex's 5-hole is a weak spot for him, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so
it is. I mean, he's super strong, like glove waffle, and even side to side.
Yeah, so he's got good movement, but he shouldn't.
One thing to work on.
As long as we're strong defensively, that's the biggest thing. Don't give up that pass.
Well, I think the biggest thing is we need he doesn't practice, so his practice is the games. So I mean, he was going to Hamburg with us, but that's here and there. But yeah, so we're waiting on that. What else do we have? I mean, we have NHL is going on. I went to the Penguins game last night, see Marc-Andre Fleury's last game in Pittsburgh. Penguins lost, but Fleury won, so it was like it ended the way it should have. Fleury with the win. So
yeah, I was actually that's one I say the Penguins was a topic I definitely was thinking about for today. They're obviously an older team. We all know
second
that.
Oldest.
Their defense. I mean, Letang and Carlson.
EK, fucking what a waste. So I doubt either one of you watched the game last night.
I was watching some of it, and they did not. I mean, they did not look good out there.
Okay, so pulled the goalie. A minute left. It's coming up the far boards, and Carlson's at the blue line. Wild had the puck. He doesn't press him. He doesn't do anything. He just fucking stands there. Doesn't move. Stands there. And then the guy just shoots it down the ice and fucking puts it in the internet. Carlson just did not move at all. So you're watching him, you're like, what the fuck's he doing? He wasn't skating backwards. He wasn't going towards the guy. Like, just didn't fucking move.
He doesn't play a good defensive game. I've never seen him as a strong defenseman. He's more of a forward.
He doesn't play.
And he won the Norris Trophy. Yeah, I was pretty mad about that when he was given it. He's not a good defender.
As I said, the Norris Trophy has turned into the highest scoring defenseman, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, which is silly.
Like the whole point is the best. I mean, if you can't play defense, you shouldn't be winning the trophy for the best defenseman.
There's more to defense,
and I haven't seen that
scoring goals.
There is a bright spot. I mean, it's very small, but when I look at the Penguins and like some of the young guys now, so the one guy that caught my eye was Drew O'Connor.
DOC.
He has been. I mean, last year he played in 79 games. He had 33 points, and I mean, before that, I mean, he didn't really have a lot of opportunity coming in,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's a guy that, I mean, he's not scoring a lot of points. He's not putting the puck in the net, but his forecheck and around the net. I mean, I saw the one play, and I mean the one shift. He held the puck down around the net for 20 seconds. I mean, he just kept fighting, and I mean, he's got some speed. He's definitely got the skill to do it. It's just if he's got the help.
Yeah, so he's been playing primarily. So he was playing with Sid a little bit last year, and then primarily this year he's been on the bottom six. Our bottom six has been the best portion of our game, which is a complete flip from what it has been in previous years. Lars Eller looks fantastic.
He was a good pickup.
Jesse Puljujarvi, fucking amazing. Like in comparison to what he was in Edmonton and even in Carolina, he looks great. Again, bottom six guy. He's skating. His skating's getting better. Kevin Hayes, big body down there. The net. Doc, we talked about. Cody Glass, another big guy, and Akari. Akari's
Noah Akari has looked really good too. Even Beauvillier has not looked bad.
Well, so he went from the first line to they put him on the fourth line last night, and I think he looked better down there than he did up there with Sid. Last night, they ran Sid, Malkin, and Raquel on the top line. Raquel came out with 2 points, Raquel with 2 goals, Sid with 3 points. So you're kind of like, all right, like that's working. Gino is kind of struggling. Like he has 3 goals. He had the goal in the Buffalo game. That was his last goal. 3 goals is 11 points, but a -2. Sid's a -6. The only positive player on the team is Rex with 3. He's a +3. We have the worst goals against average in the league.
Tristan Jarry was a part of that problem. Jarry he's struggled.
Even last night, we look at Bloomquist made amazing saves. There were some saves that he should not have had, but he made them. But then there was other ones where it's just like there was one that defense, when they clear it out, it hit the glass, hit the ref in the back. They turn around and they score an ugly short side goal. So something like that. But then there was also what's his name? Kaprizov. He did a nice spinneroonie to who's over there? Zuccarello. And he just buried it back door. What are you gonna do there? He gave up a breakaway. How many breakaways has this kid faced? So, he's sitting at a 3.4 goals against, but how many of those are like just clean shots that beat him that aren't breakaways? Like, I don't know, not many of them. I can think of one off the top of my head, but they're leaving him out to dry. Ned has played great. Same thing. They're hanging him out to dry. Do I want to say it's all goaltending? No. Do I want to say it's all defense? It's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I mean, Buffalo, you guys have decent goaltending, but then when your defense, they're young, they're inexperienced, they make those mistakes. Your goalies can only bail you out so many times.
Yep.
Now, did you guys?
Buffalo has their own issues too.
Now, what I consider some big news. I mean, Edmonton has struggled, and they've been starting to come on as of late. McDavid expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks with an ankle injury.
No.
Oh, really?
And I mean, it's not the first time he's had an injury like that.
He's gotten hurt in his ankle before?
I know he's had a couple lower body injuries.
Okay.
I think he had the ankle sprain.
The ankle
I think last year.
Too.
Yeah, last year he had that ankle sprain that kept him out.
Oh, okay.
And that's I think where his injuries have been is or the high ankle sprains. I mean,
that's not so much of a big deal though. He sprained his ankle. He's out a couple weeks. It's a long season. He doesn't need to be.
It's something that can linger. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, a high ankle sprain is something that can linger, and it's easy to aggravate. I mean, especially
as long as they don't rush his recovery.
Yeah, which I mean, that's tough because with the way. I mean, last year obviously they started off really slow. They struggled and they were able to make it up. So I mean, if they were smart, they wouldn't rush him back. They have a team where they can play good at the back half of the season, and they're still be a playoff team.
You still have Leon Draisaitl. I mean, as much as we talk about McDavid, it's kind of the Malkin Crosby effect. Penguins had Crosby, so Malkin kind of got forgot about. They have McDavid, so Draisaitl kind of gets forgotten about. This is a guy that's won. He's won the scoring title. He could do it again. You give him more minutes. I mean, he's not playing with McDavid. Then they play on the line occasionally together, but you can't overlook his skills.
Oh yeah, and you still have Zach Hyman, who we know can put the puck in the net, and Nugent Hopkins. I think Nugent Hopkins. I mean, even he's someone that can play on the first line.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean,
they still have the talent.
Yeah, so like I said, and it's very early to don't know where I'm going with that. It's very early, so it's too early to really tell where anyone is. I mean, I was just looking at the standings. It's like we're at game 10 basically for everybody.
Yep.
When you average it out, there's some gaps happening, but it's like
everyone's kind of in that 10 range. Yeah.
Honestly, you probably shouldn't even be looking at the standings getting panicky until like a quarter into the season, and then you can start to see this is where my team is at. What should we do? And
I think that's true for the Oilers. They're second to last in their division. Nashville second to last in their division. The Bruins are last in their division.
Yeah, that's right there. Bruins they're normally the number one team.
Yep,
they're in the top three, no matter in the league usually going into this.
Yeah. Well, the Bruins being last was expected last year because they lost Bergeron. They didn't have that true bona fide number one center. I was even saying it's like Bruins aren't making the playoffs next year. Going into last season, and obviously I was wrong, but so little. I'm a little. I don't know what the right word would be. I'm expecting that. I expected that last year. So
a lot of it's been goaltending's been the issue. They have Swayman that, obviously now after he signed his contract, but their backup, they don't have someone to back them up right now. They're struggling the goaltending, and Swayman he's not played as good as he did at the end of last year. But again, obviously that is early,
Yeah, and we talked about this.
There's a lot of slumps. Ago. Goaltending in general has been, it seems, an issue for a lot of teams. So to start the year,
yeah,
a lot of guys have looked rusty.
Early. No one's gotten into their rhythm yet. Basically, I was about to say, is like even the Sabres is like they're still figuring out how to get composure.
If you look at teams that their goaltending has been solid, I'd say obviously the Rangers. Shesterkin's looked really good, and the Jets. Connor Hellebuck, but he looks good every year. His struggles always come in the playoffs.
They finally lost.
They did.
Yeah. And and let me tell you, they made a game of it. The fact they came back, they were make it 5-4, and I thought they were going to tie it. They were really pressing that. And
did they losing Greg?
So with goaltending. With goaltending, we're looking at best goals against average. Kind of surprising. Frederick Anderson down in Carolina, 1.49.
Yeah, who Frederick Anderson is currently day-to-day.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So he's actually injured right now. They don't know if it's long term. They're still waiting, or how long it's going to be. They don't know if it's going to be a few days or a few weeks.
You gotta be happy if you're a Dallas fan. Number 2, you have Casey DeSmith at a 1.69, and then at number 4, you have Otter at a 1.84. I want to say they're first in or they must be second in their division, right? Yeah, second to only Winnipeg, and they're 7-2. So
and Casey DeSmith. I personally, I think he was a solid number 2 when he was with the Penguins. They had a good tandem at that time. And they didn't have to spend a lot of money on those guys. They were a good 1 and 2, cheap, and I was surprised they let him go. And obviously,
we traded Vancouver, him. I think that's how we got Ned, though.
Yeah. He went to Vancouver, and he was their backup there. But obviously, Demko got injured, then he got injured, and then they had Shelops, who is out, obviously. I mean, who's had injury problems too. I mean, Vancouver has had goalie problems all around.
Yeah.
Obviously now they're doing a little better. I mean, they got Lankinen. I mean, he hasn't been playing bad for them. You know, he's been getting some wins, but when they let DeSmith go, I was very surprised. I mean, I get it. You have Demko and Shilovs. That's going to be your 1-2 when they're healthy. But I mean, that's a good pickup for Dallas. You know, they needed a solid guy behind Ottinger because they can't ride him all year like they have been. You know, especially after you sign him to a big contract. You know, you don't want to use him up in the first 4 years, and then if you're still owing that money. So,
I mean, I feel like with that, you got to look at you're going to ride them all season and then expect them to do it all playoffs too. Like, it just isn't gonna.
Yeah, when you got a
work like that.
When you got a good solid goalie number 2 that can get you wins and help you get to that playoffs, rest him up so he's fresh. I mean, it's kind of the way you want to look right now. Which, I mean, again, goaltending has been a struggle all around the league.
Yeah.
So we won't call it a pandemic yet, but
too early to tell.
And it could really just be that our forwards and defensemen are so much better at scoring now. Like we could be seeing where goalies got so good in the 2000s, 2010s, and then the training for these forwards have gotten even better and even crazier. The things that they're able to do.
Oh yeah, the skill level is off the charts.
Yeah. So I mean, it could be that we're going to see this goals against average really spike, which goals are cool, shutouts are cool too. So it's kind of like it depends on what kind of game you want to see. If you want to see a grind out game that's 1-0, or if you want to see a game that's 5-7. So I guess it just really depends on what you want. Speaking of goal scoring, we have Ovechkin. 8 games into the season, 4 goals, 3 assists. Whenever I went to the game yesterday with my uncle, he mentioned he's like, he's not looking great. I haven't really paid attention to him at all, but 4 goals in 8 games, I don't think that's a bad start for a guy who's 39. So.
They were talking about it early yesterday afternoon. There was a lot of talk about Ovechkin. Do they think, where everyone thinks, who thinks he's going to make it, and it's where he'd have to be at the, halfway point to really have faith that he can do it this year. I mean, he needs 38 more. I mean, again, 2 last night. If he can get, couple a week, there you go. I mean, it depends how many games obviously playing that week to get him, but I think it's very possible. I could see him being maybe 10 away and being 10 short at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's a stretch to say he's going to get it this year, the record.
Yeah, especially with the team. I mean, he doesn't have this talent around him that he's had for most of his career. I mean, obviously you had Backstrom, that was his go-to guy. Backstrom to Ovechkin in the net. That was
Backstrom's still there.
But he's currently, he's on IR. I mean, I think he's LTIR right now.
Oh, gotcha.
And so they don't know if he's even going to come back. So that's kind of been a struggle. And I mean, you remember when he had Semin. I mean, Semin could score. He could also, he was really good at being a playmaker. I mean, they had a lot of guys. So they don't have the same playmakers they did before. So to see him that he can still score without those guys, I mean, that is awesome to see, especially at that age.
Yeah. Yeah, age is the big factor to say he's going to be a 40 goal scorer at this point of his career.
But
that's a big ask.
Yeah, if he's within, I mean, he's going to play next year. If he doesn't break the record this year, he will play next year, I think. And then I think if he plays next year and breaks the record, I do think there's a chance he retires after that.
Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah,
he's not going to be done until he breaks it, and I could see if he breaks it next year being his last year, 100%.
Yeah, I mean he's got his cup, he's got the Richard Trophy multiple times. It's
for me at least, he's going to go down as the best pure goal scorer, not the best all around, but
yeah.
Name someone more deadly on the power play, like Ovechkin on his circle. Yeah. I'm not taking anyone else, and that's I hated Ovechkin growing up because played Penguins all the time in the playoffs.
Yep. I mean
exactly. It was Crosby or Ovechkin. So He's the best pure goal scorer. I'm tired of hearing Gretzky's the GOAT. I'm so fucking tired of that. Gretzky, and he played long, played in an era where everyone was ass. Like we might be able to play in that league. And again, bias, but Mario better than Gretzky. Sid better than Gretzky. Ovechkin better than Gretzky. And I think it's just that development, that training, everything that kind of comes with it. But
the game has evolved. You know,
we got to drop the 99's the great one, because I get it. Like for his era, absolutely. But people still saying he's the GOAT. It's like saying Babe Ruth is the best baseball player. It's not. Like we got to move on.
It's a different league. It's different time.
I mean, for years. I mean, even in sports like football, I mean, they went back and forth. I mean, quarterbacks. You know, Dan Marino and Emmitt Smith and all these positions being the greatest. But I mean, you have. That was a different time.
Neither of those guys are in the top 10. So
that's all they talk about. You know, they're Hall of Famers, sure, but they're not the greatest at that position to ever play the game. I mean, especially with it's evolved.
Yeah,
I
would shy away from trying to compare people in different eras too.
And that's typically what I go with is like completely different game, completely different era. Goaltending's different. Same thing like MJ versus LeBron. Different eras, different type of basketball. Baseball.
Exactly.
Baseball is the one where it's like it's literally the same game, but they went from plumbers smoking and drinking and going and playing baseball to Mike Trout. You know what I mean? Like it just such a big change there. Same thing with football. I mean, you got running backs like Barkley, and you have wide receivers like DK. Like it's just they're freaks of nature. Or even James Harrison, and 10 years ago.
Oh, I mean, just Megatron. He was.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
The guy was. He was uncoverable. And you don't. But you get those. You get those once in a lifetime talents here and there. But yeah.
Every era has them. I'd say like Crosby.
Yeah, you
Ovechkin,
had Crosby.
McDavid.
Crosby all around. Crosby had a better all around game than Ovechkin.
Mm-hmm.
But Ovechkin had that. I think Ovechkin had more speed. I think he was a faster skater back then, and he was younger, and he had that just natural goal scoring ability. But I mean, Crosby's always been a great playmaker too.
Yep.
Is the other thing.
Yep.
He didn't always score the goals, but he had points. He could set up a play. I mean, from across the ice down at the other end, he could set up a play.
I think he's played like Sid's played something like 300 less games or 200 less games whenever he was all concussed and everything like that in like 2012, 2014 era. And he's up like 300 points in Ovechkin. He does have that all around. He's more of a team player. Again, Ovechkin he's not a one trick pony because he can dangle, he can snipe, he has multiple, like he's a hard hitting sniper. That's really what he is.
And he is the physical game too, which is nice to have.
Yeah. So I mean that's a debate that I think at this point in both of their careers, regardless if you're a Crosby person or an Ovechkin person, you appreciate both of their games, and if you don't, you're just being an ass, really. Like you're just not seeing it for that. They're completely different players. They both had outstanding careers. One's going to go down as the most goals to ever be scored in the NHL. The other is going to go down as a guy who won every single award you can. Both have cups. Both have the scoring titles. Like they have everything. They just had different style games.
Yeah. That debate between the two of them has been hashed out so many times. Yep. It's just they're both shoo-ins for the Hall of Fame. Who cares?
Yeah, and
easily.
Them two are like LeBron and MJ, but if they played at the same fucking time, like we were blessed to have that within that. Like now, it's what McDavid and Matthews.
I would say, at this point, it was supposed to be McDavid and Eichel. And, I mean, he's doing well now, but Jack is just not.
Yeah.
He's
not lived up to that.
Yeah, he's still – I don't see him having that goal-scoring ability that Matthews. He's not He can shoot the puck, but I don't think he's the sniper that can just pick that spot like Matthews is able to do.
Yeah, I think Jack's just physically gifted, and that's what made him so appealing. He's a good hockey player.
He can get around you. He can make plays. He's got the speed. I mean, his strides. He's got one of the best strides I've seen. He's got a long stride, and he can get down the ice and quick. But it's being able to use that and make plays. And I mean, I think he's been a selfish player. I think is the biggest problem. He tries to make some plays by himself and not using teammates when he has them.
Do you think that happened because of his time in Buffalo?
I think it's definitely your time in a certain city and the culture will definitely affect your career. I mean, it'll affect how you see the game, how you play the game. I mean, you're so used to playing it a certain way and just an attitude that trying to adapt somewhere else. I mean, again, locker room's a big thing. Who you have in your locker room and the attitude will completely change how you play the game.
Yeah, because I think Buffalo completely mishandled his entire career in Buffalo up until that trade. I thought that trade was almost inevitable at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, just kind of like, I mean, you look at a couple players, though. You have that situation in that trade. I mean, he was a great player, and we'd love to, if we could still have him, could have used him the right way. But but Buffalo sports, I mean, you look at, granted, we can't say anything because the Bills are still good, but like the Stephon Diggs trade, the same thing. He was a great player. We loved it. Yeah, exactly. But we were like, we'd love to have him. You're getting rid of one of your best receivers, but it's all about the attitude, and he didn't have the right attitude in the locker room.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I actually have a working theory. No evidence to back it up, really, but working theory that the attitude didn't really start with Jack, but it started with probably the tank mentality, because you're just getting rid of guys who are doing well, and it just doesn't. It's not a good look, and
it's almost like
you're probably talking.
It's like they're trying to rebuild every single year.
Yeah, so it's like, we don't. They don't want good players. They don't want good players. They don't want us to try hard, kind of thing. But the other thing, my big theory is when we got Evander Kane and brought him in, because it's like, all right, well, we got Jack, we got Sam Reinhart. Now we got Ryan O'Reilly. We got to get some guys who can score and put them around these guys so they develop into these, Sidney Crosby's, Alex Ovechkin type guy. And I think Evander Kane was a terrible, terrible pickup because I don't know, bad attitude kind of guy.
Yeah, he's always had, obviously, we know about his on ice, and everyone knows about his off ice issues. I mean, he filed bankruptcy, gambling, a lot of issues.
Didn't he domestically abuse his pregnant girlfriend? Or am I making that up?
I'm pretty sure
before I go,
that might have been Von Miller.
Von Miller did
pro athlete hits his pregnant girlfriend.
But
there's a bunch of those.
I mean, personally, I think the best way, there is proof. I mean, even just us, our rec league team, we played so well last season. It was all about the locker room mentality. Mm-hmm. Like, we played great together because we had that attitude and that camaraderie that you got to have.
Yeah, you're playing for your boys. Like, you're not just playing for yourself. I mean, and it's just rec league, but I don't want to fuck up because I don't want to put stress on Alex. I don't want to put stress on my defensive partner. I don't want to, it's playing for your team. That's, what do they say? Fucking the crest on the front, not the name on the back. And it really is the thing. I mean, coming from my baseball time, you beam one of my players, I'm beaming one of yours. I got my guys back.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it's, I mean, it starts, and that's why I've always been an advocate about youth sports and how important they are. If you want to grow up and play, even if you're not going to play that sport growing up, when you get older, playing at a young age, I think youth sports are great because that it teaches you that. I mean, it's because you're almost a family. It teaches you that how to be a team and how to fight for one another. And I mean, it's always been huge with me. I mean, again, when I was younger, that was our thing. You got the Bills, or your pregame or after game. You count down, whatever you got, whatever they say. They say 1, 2, 3, win, or a lot of people say their team name or whatever.
Yeah.
But ours was, we would say 1, 2, 3 team, because that's what we were. We were playing for the team. We're not playing to win. We're playing for the team. And it's like, that's what you got. And then you got to teach them young. So some of these guys have not learned that.
Disappeared for a minute because I did look up just to make sure I'm not dragging this guy's name completely through the mud. But back to the Evander Kane thing, his wife did, or I guess ex-wife, did file a domestic violence thing. I don't know if she was pregnant, but back in 2021. How bad is your reputation when you can just quickly Google it and see a timeline of his issues?
Yeah, I think they all kind of came out around the same, and then he ended up in Edmonton.
Yeah. This is why, like, when they were playing in the Cup, I couldn't, for the life of me, root for Edmonton. I would love to see him win a Cup.
Yeah.
I would love to see the curse get broken, but not him. Like, I do not think he deserves to win the Cup. I didn't like the whole, speaking of which, the whole narrative that they were trying to do about Okposo deserving the Cup over Sergei Bobrovsky. You had an actual story. They keep chasing this Ray Bourque type story where Ray Bourque finally got his cup after 20 seasons or however many 50 seasons in the NHL, just a long time. And it was a guy who truly deserved it.
Yeah.
Okposo is a fringe fourth liner throughout his entire career, and I'll stand by that. To the end of my days. He was a first liner because of John Tavares.
Yeah.
And when he didn't play with John Tavares, he wasn't good enough to be on the first line. And then the Sabres signed him for like millions. And I'm like,
remember, we did that same thing before that with Matt Moulson.
Oh, I thought that was a mistake too.
It was Matt Moulson, and then they went from Matt Moulson. Oh, we'll just take Kyle Posa. They were
same team.
Yep, they were going for both guys. They're like, oh, he's another Islanders. He's gonna be better than Moulson. It's like, nope, same player.
Maybe John Tavares just makes guys look good, or at that time he did.
That's
I don't know.
A lot of guys do that. They make other guys. You do that. I mean, if you're a really good player,
that's their fucking job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. It's. I mean, for Buffalo, it's a tough one because it's like, how long can you continually do the same thing? Kind of like you said. They feel like they're constantly in a rebuild. When you have a great core of young players, and I've been saying
it's all the same guy.
I've been saying it like a broken record. Bring in older guys that know how to fucking win to teach these young kids.
Like, or draft a different kind of guy. They've drafted the same guy 4 years in a row.
Yep.
I mean, McLeod isn't that old. He's not that young either. But he was a guy I liked that move for McLeod because he's a guy. I mean, playing in Edmonton, they know how to win. He just went to a Stanley Cup final, so he knows how to get there. He knows that culture. He's played with some great players. So and he's also played amazing as of late.
Yes, that's true.
He's been putting the puck in the net. So
he's been one of our
best. He's been one of the best players this first couple games.
Yeah.
So kind of on the same page is that going and picking up that kind of is an underrated trade. It's the only trade I've really heard of so far this season. Utah sent a 3rd or 4th round draft pick to Detroit in return for Olli Mata. Utah, extremely young team. Olli Mata, 2-time Stanley Cup defenseman for the Penguins. He's not the same guy he was. He had hip surgery, really slowed him down. But look at the team he played with. Look at the guys he's played with. He's a veteran at this point in his career. He's been in the league for 8 years. He knows how to win. He knows what it takes. He knows how to get there. He's had to change his game because of it. And I think that has helped him become a better defenseman where he doesn't rely on being young and having wheels. He can go and play a more positional defensive game, still put the puck in the back of the net, And that is going to benefit Utah just to teach that young team. That's a fourth rounder. And they got this guy. And again, he's not this amazing all-star defenseman, but he knows what it takes. And that's all it takes to kind of instill it into a young core to then set them up for success down the road.
That's invaluable too, because that pick could just end up not panning out ever.
Yep.
For all you know.
I mean, and that fourth rounder, it could be a nothing, it could be a superstar, but you
won't know. We won't know until probably 5 years from now.
Exactly. And you're getting a NHL defenseman that is going to teach your team. So, and I think that's what Buffalo has lacked from the amount of time that I followed them. They've always been super, super, super young. And then they get one guy, like we talked about Oposo or Matt Molson. Those guys didn't know how to win. They were just in the league.
They were happy to be there.
Yep.
Penguin, Oposo probably a little bit less than Molson.
Yeah.
But Oposo deserved to be in the NHL.
I always bounce back to that 2009 Penguins team because they were so young. Let me pull up their Stanley Cup roster.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Because you're talking about the older guy, and who did they go back and forth with? Is the team that valued veterancy.
Yep.
In the Detroit Red Wings, they barely had young players because they didn't. That was the team philosophy. They didn't believe in playing the young guys because you need experience.
Yep. And look where they're at now. You know what I mean? They're still in that rebuild stage. They've missed the playoffs 7 years in a row. Because they didn't build up. Yeah. Because they didn't build it up.
Maybe. I mean, they were winning for so long, too.
Yeah.
Once they lost Datsuk, it went in kind of collapse. I mean, it was clear that was the reason they were doing so well.
Mm-hmm. So that 09 Penguin team. So you had Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Tyler Kennedy was on that team. Younger. I mean, Brooks Orpik was still a little bit younger. Jordan Stahl. But then they go out and they get Peter Sikora. They go out. They get who else? Chris Kunitz. They go out and they got Bill Guerin. They had Miroslav Shatan. So they had they had this young core, and then they said, "Sid, we got you, Bill Guerin. Hey, Gino, we got you, Shatan." Like these fucking guys know how to win. They know what they're doing. For Malkin, he had Sergei Gonchar, so they got him another Russian. Could teach him. He could teach him in his native language. He could get shit figured out. Get him used to the United States even more so. So like stuff like that is you can't put a price tag on that. But that's what they need to do. That's what the Sabres need to do.
They tried to do that with Eichel. They gave him Molson, and they made him stay in his house.
Yeah. Well,
with his family. Like not a bad idea.
We brought in defensemen.
Molson. Sorry, Tom. What were you saying?
I was saying they've brought in defensemen. I mean, now last year, like Eric Johnson. Now again, he's older. Eric Johnson was one of the best defensemen. Mm-hmm. He was one of the best defensemen, I think, at one point. Eric Johnson was. I wanted him to come to Buffalo so bad at one point because there were trade talks even before that of other times. Yeah. I'm like, that's the guy that should have targeted. I think that it was a little late when they finally went after him because they knew they knew it was cheap to get him. But they've brought in guys. They've brought in guys in the back end that are older. Even Kulikov, Dmitry Kulikov, they brought him in and they shipped. He's in Florida. Brandon Montour. I mean, we all know what that is a guy Brandon Montour is someone I wish they never let go. I mean, they gave him up for nothing. They gave him up for nothing.
Ownership. Yeah, because they had a soccer coach. The way I describe that time period with Ralph Kruger is, in the Pujols, first off, they should go. They got to go. The Sabres won't be good until they're gone.
Yeah, I think stick with the Bills. Stick with one team.
Yeah.
You're an owner.
Get out of hockey.
Because you don't belong there. because with the Bills, they own it, but we already know they're trying to, they're letting people buy stake in the Bills already. They're not they're not like fully sold on that.
Yeah, as long as the majority.
You have a great GM and a great coach, and you have a front office that runs that team.
Yeah, you got a good GM, you got a coach that works well with him.
He's not involved. He's involved. He looks, but he doesn't make the decisions. I feel like he's still doing the decision making with some of the Sabres, and he shouldn't. I mean, the GM hiring, and they did not really do a search. I feel like when they brought in Kevin Adams, I feel like they did not. There were lots of options. They didn't really do.
They didn't even try.
They didn't
They wanted a yes man. It's clear as day. They wanted a yes man to do the job. They had a bunch of GMs that didn't pan out, and made the team worse. And I don't know. Anyways, back to what I was saying though. We'll get into that in a little bit, I guess, because we can be here all day if we go down that rabbit hole. That Ralph Kruger is the reason why we don't have Montour anymore, because Kruger was a terrible coach, but he hated Montour, and he was very rigid in how he wanted to coach. And Montour was clearly a good defenseman in the league, an up-and-coming, like, top pairing defenseman.
Oh, God, he was one of the top guys with Anaheim. I'm like, I'm like, what? I couldn't even believe Anaheim was like, yeah, we're going to let him go.
Yeah.
And I'm like he's one of your top line defensemen.
I don't get it. I was so glad when we got him, and then we had a coach that just doesn't understand the sport. I'm sorry, he's been out of it so long.
Yeah.
And the joke I always make is the Pagulas, not knowing the sport themselves, watched Ted Lasso and said, "Oh, well, if it works on the TV show, we can bring him over and do the same thing, and he'll be a great hire and dime in the rough, and we'll save money." It's like,
yeah, when he
came in, somebody who knows what they're doing, man.
When he came in for that, I mean, he was involved with Penn State. He's involved with the Penn State hockey program. I mean, their arena. I'm pretty sure. I think he invested a lot in that arena and their team, and he's always been big on that, a big supporter and contributing to that. But like you said, he doesn't know the sport. Right. He's a fan of the sport, and
exactly,
he's interested in it, but he doesn't know it. And if you don't know a sport, you can't own a team that you don't know anything about.
Or at least don't fire Pat LaFontaine because he tells you no. Like when they first bought the team, the Pagulas now, when they first bought the team, they hired Pat LaFontaine to be the president of hockey operations. I thought that was a great idea. You're a brand new owner. You don't know what you're doing. Get a guy who's been in the sport, and he's been somebody in the sport. He's
and
Pat LaFontaine is no slouch.
And with the team, it's a team he knows. He knows the city. I mean, and he knows the culture here.
Yeah, exactly. His name's up in the rafters, for God's sake. So, no, they got to go. Simple as that. I mean, the team will get better once there's a new owner. It's no different than the Islanders, when the Islanders were really, really terrible. I don't remember the owner's name, but when they had that owner after the Dennis Potvin era, they just were terrible for years and corrupt as hell.
Well, there was the one guy that was from Texas. I don't know if you guys remember that. There's the I don't know if you've seen the documentary on the guy that bought the team, but he didn't have the money to buy it.
No, I gotta see this documentary.
So if you look up their scandal, his name's John Spano. If you look up he took control of the team. There's a whole documentary on it. He bought the team and he had no money. He was almost broke just on promises alone of payments. and he actually had to control the team for a while. You know? And now it's called Big Shot.
I'm gonna have to watch this.
You know, I don't know if you've seen the documentary about like when Gretzky got traded, like when he was traded to the Kings and that whole thing. But that's a good one too. But yeah, this one's called Big Shot, and it's about John Spano, and he was a guy from Texas, and someone said, "Hey, there's a chance to own a team," and he said, "Hey, I want to own a hockey team." The Islanders were coming. And it was during a time where they were really bad, and they were calling for the owner's head, and they were like, we need him out. And he finally said, I'm out. He's like, I'm putting the team up for sale. And turns out guy that was buying it, he had no funds. He just had friends and people that said, hey, yeah, we'll give you the money to buy it, And he said, hey, I got the money. He's like, I got the money. Famous last words. Yeah, I got the money.
So, money's difficult. Jesus.
These
guys, they play with stuff they don't have half of the time. They play on credit.
Yeah, and if you want to talk about money in sports, hockey is the lowest paid professional sport here. These guys, the guys that are playing an 82 game season and the playoffs, the shorter off season, and again, they don't have a week between games. You might have a game just like baseball. Granted, baseball is different, but compared to a 17 game season, you're not out there. You're not playing 60 minutes, with those quick breaks in between. I think a hockey player should make just as much, if not more, than a football player. And it's just stupid money.
Well, they got to bring in the money. So
yeah, and
that's part of the problem is they don't bring in enough revenue yet.
Yeah, and baseball, obviously, there is no salary cap. You spend as much a championship depends on how much you want to spend.
Yeah. I actually like a salary cap for that reason, just because then, you can't run into the situation, well, I bought all the good players, and so I'm just going to run it for the next 10 years until I go bankrupt kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's arguments against the salary cap. I just like the idea of it.
Yeah, I know they say some teams don't have, that option. Again, it's all about
Buffalo doesn't.
The Sabres have, they have money to spend. They've had money to spend, but they don't know. They don't have someone that knows how to use it.
Well, he's not allowed to. I don't think. I think that's the truth is he's being told you're not to go over, which actually isn't uncommon. I think during Tom Golisano's years, owner of the Buffalo Sabres as well, he had an internal cap. So it happens.
So we're talking about salary cap in hockey, or just salary in hockey.
Just money in hockey, really.
Last week we talked about goaltenders getting paid, and not NHL but WHL or the WPWHL. Sorry, I have watched it. I'm interested in it. They're going to expand next year. I think it is. A bunch of teams, or 10 cities. They said could happen. Their players are paid $35,000 to about $80,000 to play. So again, same thing. Revenue is not there. They're not making the money. They can't pay the women. I really want this to take off. I think it's another great way to bring more and more fans both to women's hockey, but also the NHL. Now I'm interested because they're talking about expanding so quickly. That kind of worries me that they're going to open up open one or two more teams, in their third season. and then not have the funds. Like, I guess they're gonna have to have someone buy into the league, basically. So the 8 cities that they're talking about: Detroit, Quebec, Chicago, Winnipeg, DC, Seattle, and Vancouver, and then lastly Pittsburgh. I think it makes the most sense. I think it makes the most sense to stay in that northeastern region if you're going to do anything. Just less
Seattle
travel.
and Vancouver are essential too because you can have a rivalry out west.
But the rest of the teams are all east. So if you put them 2 out west, they're just going to play each other a bunch and then fly over. So
you're going to have to you're going to have to fly them out a lot, but
until you expand, I think until you have that revenue to expand where you can afford that. And if you're going to put the teams out that way, you're going to need more than just 1 or 2.
Yeah.
You need to slowly expand. I mean, Minnesota, you would think Minnesota would be instantly Minneapolis, St. Paul. That's the hockey capital of the U.S.
Minnesota has a team,
but they should have. I'm saying there's more areas in Minnesota.
Gotcha.
I'm saying you can.
I'm looking at
you have Minnesota, but you have Wisconsin, that whole area.
I think.
Are you talking about for men's hockey or for women's hockey now?
Women's, the Midwest area.
Okay.
So Winnipeg makes sense. Winnipeg is just north of Minnesota, obviously.
Right. It's in the center of the continent or center of Canada in a way. So there's good population.
I think you put the teams where there's already a big hockey fan base.
Yes.
So Pittsburgh makes sense. Winnipeg makes sense. Detroit makes sense. Washington, I think, makes sense. The Capitals are huge. That's the only team they have down there.
No, they have the Commanders.
Oh, that's right. They're good again.
And the Nationals. The Nationals suck.
Oh, yeah. I guess they have more than one team. I was thinking, I don't know. I completely forgot about them. Quebec, I think everyone talks about Quebec, but I think that's a tough one. Detroit has a fan base. Chicago fan base. Winnipeg fan base, Pittsburgh fan base, Washington's on there, fan base. So I think they're aiming in the right direction. I'm just curious to see because they're doing the right thing and they're doing basically you can watch it for free. You can watch it on YouTube. I think that's the best way to do it. You get viewership. That's how you're gonna rope people in. I think it's such a tough thing to expand because there's such a stigma for women's sports. And I think a lot of the problem is the WNBA won't adapt their league to make it more entertaining, just for a casual viewer. Caitlin Clark could shoot threes from the logo. Never seen that before into women's basketball. I just seen a thing with Shaq and Angel Reese, and Shaq's lower than that. People want to see women dunk. That's what they want. It's going to expand your sport. Everyone's going to make more money. So PWHL, it's a little bit different. Obviously, we're not going to make the nets bigger or smaller or anything like that. But I know I think Varney and I talked about it a little bit, or maybe I was talking about it yesterday. I don't understand why these professional athletes in the PWHL have to wear a fishbowl or a cage. If you are a professional athlete, let them wear a cage. Let them hit. They've talked about hitting. So actually, that's the perfect one right there. They've talked about hitting. They're let us hit. Let us be physical. Why can't we? And everyone's oh, women are fragile. But it's a woman hitting a woman. So it's just a guy hitting a guy. So
the players are up for it.
If they're there's
the players
no reason
figure it out.
When they say women are fragile, it all depends on how you train and how you prepare.
Tell a lady hockey player they're fragile. Punch you in the face.
I'll tell you right.
Exactly.
Yeah, Joe, I think just as well. Better than any of us that they're not.
Yeah, my wife played hockey for years. She'll whoop my ass if I told her she's fragile.
They're not getting ran by Big Z or
that.
anything like that. They're playing against women that are their size, and if it's a taller, stronger woman, that's just how it is in the NHL with bigger guys. We had Nathan Gerby in the same league as Zdeno Chara. So
Kirby won that fight.
So let them play physical and don't call a bullshit penalty. Let them wear a visor if they want to. If they don't want to wear a visor, wear a bull, wear a cage. That's fine.
It's their choice in health.
Yeah.
Give them that opportunity to be the professional athlete they want to be. If they want to fight, let them fight. That is hockey. Like, that is what hockey was fucking built on.
And
There's good.
I think if you look at women's hockey too, now the Olympics, I think the women's hockey in the Olympics. I mean, this past Olympics, I think as far as I know, it was the most watched women's hockey ever that they've had in any Olympics. It was the most watched. And
so there's a fan base, is what we're.
There is a fan base, and I know there's a lot overseas too. But U.S. and Canada have the two best women's. That's the best women's hockey you're going to find. It's always the U.S. and Canada fighting for that gold, fighting for that top spot, and the U.S. actually has a lot of college hockey for women's, way more than anyone realizes. In the last couple years, I've really started to watch it more and get more into and follow it. And personally, I think women's hockey, obviously part of it being that the physicality isn't there. They're not allowed to hit. But because of that, it's faster. I mean, women's hockey is way more fast-paced. It's way more up and down the ice. And, I mean, given the right circumstances, it can be more scoring. I think it's just as entertaining sometimes as the NHL. Yep. And if you market to the right audience and you know what you're doing, you can really grow you can really grow it, and it could be a pretty big league.
Yeah.
I mean,
with end of the day, if they get the numbers, they get the numbers.
They're faster. They're graceful as shit on their skates. Like, and again, you have more freedom when you're not worried about getting hit. But at the same point, they're that much better on their skates that they can avoid that if needed. Yeah. They just need to open it up. Let them be professional athletes. Like, why women's hockey? You're a professional women's hockey player, but you can't hit, can't fight, you can't wear a visor. Like, so you're not equal to men in professional hockey. Just that stigma has to go away. We have to just treat it equally, and we're fine. And I think that's how the league expands. And if you look at the NHL is fast. They have good, like, they can shoot, but everyone loves the puck handling and how graceful they are on their skates. That's what women's hockey is. So, I mean, the NHL is growing it because of that. They will too. They just need that exposure. They need to let them be them.
I think the cities you mentioned were good. I mean, it really just comes down to getting viewership.
Yeah.
If people want to watch it, then they will.
And I think they're doing it right. They're putting it for free on YouTube. They should just do it on every social media platform. Just live stream it, and that's how you can build
the
that
ads are there. People will see the ad because that's what really sells the sport, right?
Yeah, I think especially. I mean, I know you have ESPN, you have ESPN2. I feel like, and even on like NBC and stuff, every once in a while, I've seen it before. They've had games on TV. That I've watched them on TV. Yep. And like you start getting more of those. Like they'd have once in a while. Every week. Once a week. If they have a game, if they have 6 games, well, maybe one of them's on ESPN. But like you start to, you can get a lot of those, even if it's just ESPN2, NBC. I'm like you start putting those games out there, and like people are gonna watch. I mean, it's sports. That's what our country is.
Yeah.
We love sports.
All we care about.
You give something
like our sports.
You give someone something to watch. Any kind of sport where there's 2 teams competing and battling hard, they're gonna watch it. I mean,
yeah.
We've all seen some of these sports, if you want to call it, that are on TV. Watch anything. People watch dart leagues, professional darts on TV. I mean, if you can put that on ESPN enough that people are going to watch it and it's on there every week, I see no reason you can't get something like, you can't get a women's hockey league on there. I'd much rather watch that.
I am so glad you brought up ESPN.
You got to shit talk ESPN.
I am about to shit talk ESPN. So we're talking about all this, watching games and stuff. I don't have cable. I just have the Disney Plus bundle with ESPN Plus. But so far, and it's not so far. It's been like since they had the bundle available, I've had the bundle because I don't have a great way of watching hockey, especially during the playoffs. I don't really tune in as much for the regular season. It's very long, and 1 or 2 games here, they don't matter at the end of the day.
They all matter. Every point matters.
Every point matters until you're in the playoffs, and then it doesn't fucking matter at all because all that matters is how you do in the playoffs.
Yeah, as long as you win the game.
You gotta get to the playoffs.
You have to. Yeah, well, my team hasn't gotten there, and going to be 14 years after this season. So, unless we're counting the other teams that I root for, so.
I say my team's up 2-0 right now.
I don't know your team.
He's a Winnipeg Jets.
Oh, good, nice. But anyways, even when games aren't blacked out, which it's streaming, I don't understand why we are blacked out. I'm watching. You're going to get ad revenue if I'm watching. Why are you blacking out the game? You're being stupid. It's irresponsible waste of money, in my opinion. Even when they're not blacked out, the game is blurry as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's unwatchable. It's not borderline unwatchable. It is unwatchable. That's how blurry it gets. I don't get how we've had hockey on television for north of 40 years, and ESPN Plus in 2024 can't fucking figure out how to get their streaming service to not be blurry on the television.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a 720p TV or
I'll be honest, I'm watching mine's on
or
ESPN
420
Plus.
or whatever it is.
This is ESPN Plus right here.
Yeah?
And it's not blurry at all.
Well, you know what? Fuck you.
On that note, Kyle Connor just made it 3-0.
I'm very annoyed though, because it's like I don't get why. Because I don't have maybe it's Spectrum Internet. Don't get Spectrum Internet. I'm saying that like you have a choice.
Terrible.
I just upgraded mine. Okay, so I am now the bill payer of it flipped over to me. So we're going from 30 megabytes per second to 500. So that's a big upgrade. So
it's a lie. I'm gonna spoil it right now. Their cable can't transmit that much. They're telling me I'm getting 400. I can't even get 100.
The cable completely is a lie. It's crap. Now the internet, it's also a lie. So
yeah, they got kicked out of the state.
I upgraded to the 500 megabyte whatever. I do a speed test. It says I'm getting like 572. I'm like, holy crap, that's amazing. But the thing is, then I'll have Wi-Fi. So my Wi-Fi has been super spotty. Especially on my phone, like on my TV, my bedroom, it's fine. I pull my phone, super slow. I'm surprised it's working right now, but I'm glad it is. And now when I look up my plan, it says I'm on a 600 megabyte per second plan, which is like unheard of. And I'm like, I didn't upgrade, so they just automatically just upped it to 600. But you don't get. It might say 600 megabytes, but then you look at your certain device and it says 1.
Right.
I'm like, this is just, so
Wi-Fi gets finicky too.
Just upgrade to fiber. It's fine.
Listen. As soon as it's,
I want it. No, it's not in the area. I can't. I called.
Yeah. The
res has fiber.
Well,
yeah.
I'm not allowed to live on the res.
Speaking of the res, so there's this new place you've probably driven by it. It's right near the community center. Yeah, that's a new account of mine.
Dude, amazing in there.
I walked in there today and I was like, what is this place? The place is huge. I mean, now if you've ever heard of Sassy's Truck Stop, or it's in Limestone, if you're going down the 219 down in the PA, for any viewers that, have ever gone down that way, great place. But this place, again, Wilmart, Wilmart. Just take the A, change it to an I. Very creative, but it's same owners. And I got to tell you, it's so nice inside. Mm-hmm. Totally. I mean, they had the hot food right by the counter. I grabbed something on the way out, and it was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, the first time I walked there, D was like, "You got to go in there. Like, you have to see what it looks like." Because in my head, it was like split off into 3 little shops, and then you walk in there, and it's just fucking massive, and it's super nice in there, super clean. Yeah.
Yeah, because like a convenience store on steroids. They got the diner over there, like an actual diner. You sit down, they come and they bring you your food. I'll be honest, if I had more time during my day, because I don't on this day, I'd be sitting down and getting food there. You might see me there once in a while. If you're ever, you know what? Hey, if you're ever there on a Wednesday, you'll see me.
It's probably Blocky or the wife.
The wifey. Yeah. Well, this is, she's probably on her way home. Might have to let him know.
Middle of the podcast? We don't care.
I know.
We don't care. We have two viewers.
It's one thing if you get a FaceTime, but.
Oh, that would have been fun. We could have put her on the podcast. I'm excited for this season, man.
Yeah.
I just want to see. I was hoping we would talk about kind of Matt's email. But there he goes. Matt's email thing they sent out about the 40 goals, 40 points in the 10 games. This is why I don't play in the summer. It's exactly that.
That's my biggest thing. Now I played. So we did that summer, not this past summer, the year before, and that's when Tom and I first met. Right? We were right. That was when we were the freaking Dolphins, whatever the colors.
Yeah, it was right.
But
right before we played together.
Yeah, and
for the second time.
That was my. I played. I think I played all 10. I might not have. I might have only played 6 or 7 of those games.
It's hard because vacation is in the way.
Yeah, I think I played 7 or 8 games. I didn't play them all. I missed some, and I had 10 goals. I had 14 points in 7 games. That was a good summer for me. But if you look at last winter, that was 18 games, and obviously Josh was our like we pulled up. Josh was our leading scorer in 18 games, that's why I'm like I don't think that Matt would split us up based on that, because if you look at an 18-game season, Matt had more points than Josh did. Matt was actually one above Josh on that list.
Yeah, Matt is not talking about the JagrBombs as a team or anybody on that team. Like Josh had 27 points, 18. No, that's games played. 21 goals, 6 assists. Yeah. And Grace is the next best at 3 goals and 15 assists. She lied to me. She says she only got 2.
Well,
how dare she? But
we also know those stats.
That got 40 points in the summer.
Yeah. Now we know the stats are not 100% correct.
Oh yeah.
Trust me. There's some people that had goals that have never touched the puck.
Good amount of my points went to charity.
Yeah.
I definitely got more than 7 points in that season, and it's just
I gave
Blocky has 2 of my goals actually.
Yeah, I had at least 5 or 6 assists, and I'm like, well,
yeah.
Hey, I like the apples just as much as I like the goals, but I was very, very surprised. When I saw that email, I'm like, that he sent it out to everyone.
I'm not shocked. I'm on the website right now for summer 24 season. Top 3 people, 40 points, 32 points. It's like, you got to be kidding. In 10 games. This is my issue with summer league is, so college is out, school's out. So all these kids are coming back from college and they play in college usually, and they need to keep playing to keep the edge on and keep doing well next season. So they go and find the cheapest league they can. And unfortunately, that was us for these 3 individuals. Because not every college kid has money, So typically they join the Labatt League, though, not like a rec league.
Yeah, there's a little bit, and there is a summer. There's the summer Harbor Center League.
Too. Yeah, that's a very popular one too.
Yeah,
and that's actually the popular one because that facility is super nice.
Yeah. And that
plus you get a long season.
It's a long season, more games. Yeah, you get more games, and there's playoffs, championship, I mean, it's more competitive, obviously, because it is better players. I mean,
Yeah.
That's where they have. I mean, you have players that have played in Rochester that go there in the summer and play in their Premier League. So
Right.
it's definitely more popular. But I think the thing is that the biggest problem with the summer is everyone's out, but at the same time, so those leagues grow. Our league gets smaller in the summer. We have less teams in the summer, and therefore, the better players that you would have, like in the winter, where we can have 8 teams in our division, and there's another 4 or 5 in the upper one. You can't have that in the summer because you only have a total of 6 teams, and I think that's where the issue comes in. You don't have enough players to make it fair.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, he, at that point this past summer, I'm sure Matt, a lot of players, they kind of granted everyone their, okay, you want to play with this person, you can play with this person.
Completely agree too. The summer gained some people, like Brian's older. I don't know if it's his older brother or younger brother. Keith came into the league. My the way I'm viewing it is like Jason Christie's been a part of this league since you and I have, and he's been one of the top scorers in the league.
Oh yeah.
Every time. He got 22 points. He's 7th. So he's a good benchmark. He's usually leading our league in winter. And he wasn't even in the top 5 this time around, so it's clear. Matt's email was probably very appropriate. It's like, we gotta. It's like there was that other girl on the.
Her name was Ellen.
Yeah, she was clearly too good, and she wasn't dialing it back. Like there were guys I played with while she was in the league when I was with Frank's team, and they were really good, but they dialed it back. They didn't score 40 goals in a season. There was like one kid, Chris, who did score 40 goals, and he got kicked out. But like it's just, if you're really good and you're in a league that's for fun, dial it back or find a different league.
Yeah, like
what do you gain from dunking on people who can barely skate backwards?
Yeah, like even when we do a pickup skate, and you got that one person, like you're skating up on someone, you're like, oh, this person's easy to get around. It's like you don't automatically. It's like almost instinct at that point where you look to pass because you're like, okay, I can get around this person, shoot the puck, but I don't want to do that every time. It does not, it's not fun anymore. If it's too easy, then it's not fun. I mean, it's just like when you go playing NHL on rookie level, and you're like, and you can score on every single shot, and you're just like, you scored 90 goals in a game, and it's like, well, that kind of gets boring. Yeah. It also makes it take too long too.
That's very true. Oh. What else happened? I don't know.
Okay, I'm trying to.
I think we got. I'm just excited for the season to start. We got 2 weeks to go.
Is it a full 2 weeks?
No, I mean.
Technically, it should be next weekend.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than 2 weeks, right? So it starts the week. It starts in 2 days. It'll be like 2 weeks. 2 weeks and 2 days. Oh my God, he's alive.
I had a phone call.
We talked a lot.
We talked a lot of shit about you.
That's fine. I expect nothing less. I still have not received an email about.
Got a cat.
I have not received an email about our roster.
I thought that was the call. We were trading our first round pick. For Brian Sias.
I would probably trade Josh for Brian at this point.
I hope he watches this.
So
he doesn't. He asked me what our channel name was. It's like it's the same as the Instagram. He's like, "What's the Instagram?" What the fuck do you mean? What's the Instagram?
Isn't he Gen Z?
Zero fucking support for his own team.
Yeah, he doesn't even know the team name. Jeez.
What team are we again? When he asked me, he goes, "When's the league start?" You just signed up. You were on the website.
Allegedly.
So
Allegedly.
just so you know,
Allegedly.
on the
I
website,
don't know if he did.
It says to be added to a wait list. Contact the league committee.
Yeah.
He says on there. So there is a wait list. So technically, you can join late. So he might be able to get in still.
Yeah, because people have joined 2 weeks into the season before if there's room. Like, guy, he's not that great, but Alex Wood, he usually wears 00 on his jersey.
Douchebag. Douchebag wearing 00.
Yeah. Anyways,
fuck you think he is a fucking mascot?
Maybe
I don't know.
Does he play like one? Do you play like a mascot?
How do you play like a mascot?
A fucking goon.
Exactly. You don't score goals. You're out there. You're supporting your team. You're out there. You show your support, but you're not really helping the team.
Zamboni gets more.
I think he put well. When he last played with me, he would have been about as useful as Darlene is now.
So not at all. So yes, a mascot.
Yeah.
So there's your answer.
So make your own conclusions. But I remember he started like 3 weeks into the season. So, and that was back before Matt was the commissioner. That was with Carly. That was a terrible league because Frank was just picking a fight every other week, and Carly did nothing. So,
oh yeah,
that shit's. It's like we're joining it because it's a non-fighting league. I got a job in the morning. I don't need to be coming into my place of work with a black eye, I
mean,
the league's gone. It's over. I'm not doing that anymore. If like that happens, I can't get in trouble.
You would get in trouble by work for having a black eye?
Yeah, because I'd have an unprofessional appearance.
So you got punched in the face. It's not your fault.
You could use
a sales-like environment, so yeah, it would be.
You could use the Bobby Boucher excuse, say the gorilla escaped from the zoo and punch you in the face.
I hope that's real.
That's what his mama thought. She put flyers up and everything looking for that gorilla.
Oh! I just got it.
Oh.
I've seen the movie like 100 times.
Oh
my God.
I've been told that it's okay if I lose a tooth or have a black eye because I'm a hockey player, so that's acceptable.
Yeah. I need to actually.
I choose not. I mean, I've good dental
interact
insurance,
with people.
But I have to that's my whole job is interacting with people.
Yeah, but you have to interact with the people of Walmart. They're I don't even know if they're human.
Some of them aren't. They're definitely not.
I don't know.
There's like the Florida man,
I don't know about
and then there's the people of Walmart. They're like subspecies of human.
Yeah, but it's Fredonia Walmart.
Here's the yeah. I mean, it depends on the time of year.
That's my point.
You get a lot of the college kids now, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's fair.
Here's the thing. Walmart is a different breed. So you got certain areas. You got like Cheektowaga Walmart. You don't go near that one.
No,
that's off limits. I mean, they got armed security, armed cop. They got the cops there or armed security at all times.
Hamburg has armed security right now.
So the one Lancaster to Pew, I mean, it's on train. It's Lancaster considered on transit. That's supposed to be the nice one. I'm like, I'll go that one.
Oh yeah.
I won't go to Lockport. I won't any of those. I go to this one. I move out this way. I'm thinking that thing. No.
BJ's parking lot, yeah.
Lancaster.
Yeah,
that's shit store in our market.
Where there's Dick's, BJ's, and Party City right next to each other.
That is a party, but unfortunately, no, I don't go to that one either. I go to like I said, I go to the one. It's in Lancaster. It's on transit and
across from like Five Guys and Chipotle.
It's right across from Wegmans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The transit Wegmans. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you,
that's a nice one.
Yeah, it's nice, but I see a lot of people in there that I'm like, you know what? I'm like, they must travel a long way to come to this Walmart because it's Walmart.
There's a lot of immigrants that work there. That's actually the shit store in our market. We send everybody there to help. It's a shit store that should have been shut down a long time ago from the inner workings of Walmart. Terrible store.
Wait, which one?
Terrible
Which one?
store.
Lancaster.
Lancaster. Yep. Yeah. Terrible store.
I'm learning things.
Yeah.
What do you know about the one on Walden?
I don't. It's not on my market.
Other than don't go there.
What? Are you talking about Cheektowaga?
Yeah.
Walden, Cheektowaga.
They're
on Walden.
they're a high shrink store. They're a complex, so you make more money if you work there. But they're also a high risk store, hence they're high security.
Oh god, they literally it was to the point where before they had like a cop posted there at all times. I mean, people literally you walk in and they just grab it off the shelf, turn around and walk right out the door, and that was it.
They're like men's t-shirts, like your like Hanes t-shirts are all locked up. Your underwear are all locked up.
Yes.
Wild. Fucking wild in there.
It's almost like I swear, I'm surprised they don't start escorting people around the store.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't shut stores down and have done just how they do online grocery pickup and do strictly that. Because at that point you don't have to worry about a sales floor, you just have nothing but a back room to pick from.
That could be the way of the future. I mean,
the way
Amazon does that, right? That's essentially what Amazon does.
That's going to be what retail is. Very soon, that's going to be retail.
That's what they're leaning towards. So
I mean, it's tough though with certain. I mean, it's tough with certain retail. If you're buying clothes, well, you know, I used to be able to be like, I knew my size, boom, go get it. Now I got to try stuff on because it might not fit.
Yeah, I went through that.
Return if I have to.
I was 135 pounds soaking wet coming out of college, and I'm not that weight anymore.
I was 135 pounds halfway through 6th grade.
That's cute.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty
sure we all grow
it
at different rates, Tom.
Hey, listen,
it was the 4 bowls of cereal day that really got me going.
There you go.
Listen, I'm pretty sure I'm up like almost 15 pounds from last winter season. So
me too. I'm up 20 pounds solid.
And I'm coming off a hip surgery.
Guys?
I am going to be so slow out there.
I'm down 5 pounds.
I'm gonna have to have my flashers on. That's how slow I'm gonna be.
I'm here just to throw checks. That's what I'm doing. How many can I throw before I get a penalty?
2.
It depends who you're throwing the checks on.
Zach.
That's what it comes down
I'm
to.
just going right for Zach.
They might let those go.
The one that was on here, plays for the Fish. I forget his last name.
Oh, you're never going to hit him. It's never going to
Sean
happen.
hit him.
He's going. Yeah, but that's because like Zach actually didn't fall over before he got to Sean. It was remarkable. Zach falls at the blue line because he's afraid he's going to trip over the blue line.
All I have to do is pinch him at his blue line, and I'll catch him off guard.
Oh yeah, he's not expecting anyone.
You might just need to shout behind him, and he'll fall. I mean,
you
I stick lifted him, and he fell.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Like I said, you know, we got to get in their heads is the biggest problem. Get in their other team's heads.
I'm looking forward to playing against Darlene again.
I'm just saying
we all need tinted visors. That's how we get
tinted visor.
I can't do that.
Tinted half fishbowl, half shield, half cage.
That's what I rock. Yeah.
I want to do that. I want to start doing that.
I might end up
because the fishbowl fogs up so much.
I'll send you guys a link for the one I wear.
All right. Well,
that's not tinted, unless you want the tinted one. I have an extra red tinted one if anyone wants to wear that.
All right, I might try it.
Okay.
You know what I'll do? I'm gonna order a clear one, just to have. I'll wear the red tinted one for warm ups, and see how it works. And I'll have the other one ready to go. Swap them out if I need to.
Hell yeah.
Would that even look good with our jerseys? Red tint?
Who gives a fuck?
It's gonna look good no matter what.
The pink tinted visors look good with every jersey.
I thought you said red.
Well, mine's red, but I'm saying pink looks good with all the other jerseys, so I'm sure red will too. It's red and yellow, so
who's gonna? It doesn't. Who cares what the visor looks like?
Fashion police, they're gonna be all over us, man.
We're sty as fuck, man.
Like I said, I said this the other day, and I stand by this. If I'm not grilling hot dogs out next to the bench, then someone's bringing me snacks from the snack stand.
He said he's gonna abduct a child and make them our snack person.
All right, I never said that. Let's not get carried away.
Hang on. We may have this in writing.
I don't believe that's the case. All I said was, hey, you go golf and you got a cart girl, you got someone that's bringing you your food, your beer. We're on the bench.
But I'm pretty sure you mentioned something about them being kids though. That's what threw me off because I'm thinking like, I don't know, early 20s. It's Varney. We're trying to get wingman him.
Early 20s. Whoa. I'm closer to 30 than I am to 20.
Yeah. Are you for older or younger?
That's cute.
I don't want to hear it. Either way.
I'm about to be 34, guys.
I
don't want to hear it.
I turned 31 this year.
Joe, you don't look a day over 50.
I thought Barney was the old guy on the team. Like, not even a lie.
Oh yeah, because I don't play in the summer. You didn't meet me.
You know what? It's the hairline. It's the hairline. I don't have the flowing locks like Tom does.
Just grow it out, spike it up like Vegeta.
You know what? I had it grown out, and I just got it cut because, it was not working. I don't know. Maybe I can put it into a mohawk or something.
Yeah, faux hawk. It's a hockey thing.
What if we just wear fake mullets underneath of our helmet?
No.
I mean, I'd have to loosen the helmet because it would be way too tight.
It's too hot. I'd be dying.
I sweat enough. Well, I'd have to wear like a bandana underneath it for the sweat. But
ever since I got that new chest protector, I stopped wearing like a shirt underneath because it doesn't like scratch as much. It doesn't feel as uncomfortable.
Oh, that's got to smell.
I hang it up after each game.
I'm like 50-50 if I wear, because I like wearing my long sleeves because I'll pull them up over. I'll pull them up and over like my elbow protectors, so then they're up and they don't move. But then sometimes I'll just wear a cutoff shirt under there, and I've definitely gone no shirt at all. So I guess it just depends on what I wear.
Clock.
You know what? It all depends if I remember to throw the long sleeve and the compression in my bag.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do that. I get so freaking hot on.
Well, I told you I roll my sleeve up.
Honestly,
I'd be dying.
I don't even know. It helps.
I forget my water bottle half the time.
I do too. What was it? Last winter I forgot my water bottle and I just drank beer on the bench.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah,
it's a good.
It's a good move. It's there's water in it.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's enough to keep you like.
It's a light beer.
Listen, if we get enough fans in the stands,
we'll have at least 3.
They can bring us
Garrett, Brandon, and my wife. Maybe your wife.
Yeah, maybe.
And you just motion.
Maybe Barney's girl if he ever texts her back.
Oh come on!
That can't.
We're not getting into this.
Barney needs to.
You do not triple text, and I think
you don't.
I think everyone will agree with it. You do not triple text. Sometimes. Hey,
Josh has any.
This is the actual purpose of the podcast, and Barney's learning it in week 2.
Listen,
it's here to hook him up. We're just
we
have a podcast, and he's one of the hosts. You want his number?
Listen, sometimes you just get Caspered. It happens.
Casper was a friendly ghost, though.
Yeah.
Well, she wasn't. I mean, she wasn't mean, so still friendly.
She wasn't mean. She just didn't respond. All right. Well,
sucks, man.
I was really hoping to get like a ESPN fucking breaking news of the roster while we were on here, but it doesn't.
It's gonna be tomorrow.
Seem to be the case.
It'll be tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm just sad about it because I really was hoping it's looking less and less likely as we get closer to the weekend that we'll get free ice time because of it.
Yeah.
Like a meet the team free ice
session. No, it's not free, and you guys fucking don't live anywhere close. But the recreational center down here by Wilmart on Wednesday nights does skate and shoot. 8:00. So,
yeah, but it was a Wednesday night, man.
You know what's funny? That
some of us don't act 95 years old, Joe.
Some
of us do stuff on weekdays.
If I didn't have,
Joe,
if this wasn't podcast night, I would have been driving down there because it's Shop and Save. Which, by the way, cute girl that works there. Unfortunately, it's in Gowanda. I ain't driving down to Gowanda.
You could visit me.
But she called and was like, "Hey, you guys forgot a rug." Guy was with me forgot to put one of the freaking mats back down. Go figure. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll drive it down there." I'm like, "Man, If I didn't have this, I would have drove it down there.
I mean, you could have ditched us. That would have been fine.
I mean,
No,
this
there's
is
important
why I'm
topics to talk
pushing your
about.
game. Because, like, what you should have done is been like, oh, yeah, it was deliberate. I just want to see you again.
No, they're like, yeah, it's not on the floor.
Joe loves to be a wingman. He loves to send me like wingman texts. Here's what you should say.
You're married too. That's the best part.
I was hoping to catch Blocky on like his lunch or something like that so he could join us. That's why I asked him, but he went too fucking early. So
he knew what you were trying to do.
I also didn't discuss the podcast with him this week, so I think he understood. But I don't know. I think I'm off next week. I think next week I start my vacation, so we can do the podcast whenever. And next week we start hockey.
Yeah.
Yes. Very excited.
So
Joe, you were just saying it was in 2 weeks, and I'm like, no. It's next week.
Yeah,
it's
a week and a half.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I'm thinking wrong weekend. Okay, I'm thinking of hunting
a
season.
week and 2 days. It could
a week
start.
and 2 days. Yeah.
It could be Friday. It could be Saturday. But
open season for hunting in the southern tier.
Oh, Joe, if you want to go hunting. Yesterday, I'm driving down Aurora, right here in the village. I mean, right in front of someone's house. I had to stop. 8-point buck.
You can't.
I know. I'm just saying. It's just pull out your freaking.
Put a deer down.
If you do if you shoot it enough.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I was like, this thing was massive. I couldn't even believe it.
Yeah, they're not stupid. Well, they are.
They are fucking stupid. One ran into the side of my truck.
They know enough to.
He was not moving. I stopped. He's just staring. He's not even looking at the car. He's looking like past the car and just standing there. I'm like, you gonna move or no? Just standing in the middle of the road, just waiting. Looked pretty tasty. Let me tell you.
They are tasty. You got you got some of the jerky I made last year, right?
I did.
I still have steaks. I can make more. If I don't get anything this year.
Wait a second. We're grilling after the game in the parking lot. Venison steaks on the grill.
I don't know. They might be a little gamey, but we could. I would. Now, keep in mind, I think this is a terrible idea because it's just only going to get us in trouble with the rink.
Taco bar.
I would love to just tell Matt, hey, we're going to grill right next to the bench. What are your thoughts? Like when we're playing with him, like when we're playing against him, like what are your thoughts?
We'll be back there and you just walk around the corner to his bench like, you guys want a dog?
I know.
Like just not take it seriously at all.
Like first intermission. Hey, dogs are up. You guys want one?
You want ketchup, mustard, relish? What you want? Well, what the fuck?
We'll have Garrett run the grill.
He's the bench coach and the grill master.
As long as he shows up in a suit and tie.
Canadian suit? Canadian tuxedo?
What the fuck? Oh, I know that. I was like, what the fuck is a Canadian suit? A Canadian tuxedo. I got an apron. I got a Star Trek apron he could wear. And only
no aprons here.
Nice.
I mean, are we gonna discuss like a first game of the year, like dress code? We got an idea. We're gonna.
So, question: you said best dressed. Is that one of the awards as best dressed?
I don't know what.
No one knows the awards.
But I'm saying if there was one, if there was one, I'd be going after that one.
That'd be great.
I don't care about a scoring title or this or that. I want
what's the likelihood that we could all show up in dress attire, just for the first game at least?
If you really get the word out,
0%.
I mean, most of us. I know.
I feel like the captain should do it at least. Set the tone.
What about the assistants?
Yeah, yes. You guys are your assistants, the captains.
You said the captain. You didn't say it plural.
I said the captains.
Captains.
It may have gotten lost
in the yinzer
in the air. I am superstitious. I gotta show up in pajamas, man.
Wear it underneath your suit.
There you go. That's problem solved.
I'll wear I'll wear my fucking suspenders with my driver's
What are you
cap. I don't have a driver's cap, but I'll get one.
Oh, are you? I know what you're talking about. I got one of those.
Like Peaky Blinders.
Yep, I got one. I bought it down in I bought it down in Florida last year.
I'm gonna buy mine on Amazon.
Yeah, I probably paid a little more than I should have for mine, but you know what? At the time, I thought it looked great. I'm like, yo, I look so good in this thing. Then I got home and I'm trying it on. I'm like, maybe not as good as I thought, but in the moment, it looked great.
$20, boom.
With the right outfit, it'll go great.
I'll do my best Peaky Blinders impression.
Yeah, you gonna put a razor blade in there?
Absolutely. That's for the brawl after the game.
Yeah, right. We're out in the parking lot. There you go.
Absolutely. All right. So week 1, game 1. The captains. Joe will be wearing pajamas underneath of his dress clothes. I don't know if Sean owns dress clothes. I've only seen him in basketball shorts.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean,
see, it's already doomed to fail. Here,
Barney, it makes sense. We're defensive partners. We show up. We stun out.
When we all wore pajamas as our socks, that was awesome.
That was a good one. We can do it again. We just need black and gold ones.
Yeah, and we just got to get everyone. We got to try to get everyone involved in it.
We fucking mentioned it. No one brought pajamas. I went to fucking Savers and got some to cut up.
So did I. I went and bought a set because I didn't have. I wanted that color because I wanted it to be like we all brought the right color.
Did it. Everyone thought we were joking.
No, yeah, we did it.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. Hell yeah.
And we won.
Of course we won. Win, don't we?
We lost 4 games, I think, total. 6 games.
I am on the website. We
won 12. We won 12 games.
So 12 and 6. So we were 12 and 6.
Yeah. Hey, we had twice as many wins. It's not bad.
6, baby.
So now we just
got League heroes.
And if you look at our Instagram, it says established 2023, and then league champions 2023. So fucking good start. We were better than Vegas.
Self-proclaimed. The team right below us also 12 and 6, and the same amount of points.
Goal differential.
Yeah, buddy. We have 1 goal difference.
And did we?
It's not a joke.
And we had more wins over them than they had.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what it was. We
won twice. They beat us once.
I
think we played.
Think they counted
3 times,
that.
I think. I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter.
I think they counted the goal differential.
Well, at the end of the night, we were on top. That's what matters.
Yeah, we beat them by literally 1, which makes sense because we won in the shootout. So
yeah,
if they count that as a goal differential,
yeah. Typically, like the shootout is just 1 goal extra. So,
well,
nice,
boys. We have 1 week, 2 days. We should find out our teams tomorrow. And
I'm really hoping we get free ice Saturday.
That's pretty much it. That would be nice. I work Saturday after. I work in the morning. I mean,
can you give me shit for having a normal 9 to 5?
I don't give you shit. I never give you shit. Well, okay, maybe I do when we go golfing and you're not off.
Rewind the tape.
I'm calling in tomorrow. I got to go by myself.
Yeah, must be nice having PTO.
You know what?
I just started. I can't be taking vacation left and right. So I just.
Well, I mean, you took how many vacations this summer?
I switched jobs after that.
Oh, use it all. So you used it all up, and then you switched jobs.
Yep.
Smart man.
Smart.
I
know the game. No, I don't know the game. Let's be honest. It just worked out that way. The conversation had already pretty much concluded, and they were gonna hire me. And it's like, hey guys, I got this 2-week vacation coming up, going to Norway, and it's like, you want to do this afterwards? And like, sure. Essentially, in a nutshell. But, I don't know.
I don't have anything else. Do you guys have anything else?
Nope.
All right.
No.
So we have
No.
1 week, 2 days. We should have our first game on the 8th. Should find out our team tomorrow, and then we'll kind of go from there. We'll probably do maybe another one before our first game. Trying to get Blocky on here and kind of go from there.
Yeah, stay tuned, and we'll find out if Josh Farmer made the team or not.
Yeah,
Or made the league.
Made the league. He did
Josh
sign
on the
up a
team.
date after it closed.
Yeah.
Matt was
we'll
cool
get a
enough to say,
roster.
yeah, he'll extend it for him.
No.
And he still did it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he signed up for the wrong AAU. Fucking idiot.
But yeah, well, hey, next week, discuss the roster schedule. Should at least have a first part of the schedule out. Nice little schedule, release the schedule. See what we got.
Hopefully, that'll be good.
I guess. Well,
All right.
It was good talking with you boys.
You as well.
I will see you guys soon. See ya.
Yep.